What's up, guys, and welcome back to Book Up Entertainment. So, yesterday at the site visit at Vosloras police station, where Mosivia was demonstrating how he was assaulted by the police, Brigadier Gininda had fully covered his face and he was a witness, and on top of that, he was carrying a firearm. So, the problem that was occurring, in terms of analysis from viewers, is that it appeared as if there was some intimidation to the accused, because it's like it's traumatic and intimidating, for him to be wearing like that, dressing like that, like he is on duty or something. And you have the accused there, he's demonstrating how he was assaulted by Gininda, and for him to be seeing Gininda wearing like that, it's something kind of traumatic. So the public, social media was saying, you know what, Advocate Mnisi should take this up with the court when they return back to the normal courtroom setting, and challenge Judge Rata, for allowing Gininda to have dressed like that, because it was something like traumatic, for Musivia to be seeing Gininda like that. So in essence, people wanted Gininda to like reveal his face, not to wear the way that he was wearing, like I'm sure if you saw his face, what he was wearing. His face was completely covered, like he was preparing to go to war or something like that. He was like completely something else. So, or maybe a much better solution was for him not to even be present there, because Mosibia was recounting the traumatic events that he went through. So for Gininda to reappear at that courtroom setting and carrying a firearm like that, it's something that wasn't good. So is there any possibility that Advocate Mnisi can challenge that in courtroom? Of course there is. He can definitely challenge that. But what outcome can really come out from that? Maybe Judge Rata can apologize, for letting that one to slip through his fingers, because the site visit has already been done. Like, what else can Judge Rata do? Maybe in his assessment of the testimony that was given by Mosivia, he can take that into consideration, the way that Gininda was wearing and how much it might have affected Mosivia in giving his testimony. Or maybe to also look at why Gininda intended to wear like that, or maybe was it a way to threaten Mosivia indirectly. So if you saw one thing there at Voslora station that was clearly visible, everybody was wearing their courtroom costume, like courtroom uniforms, their official gowns. Judge Rata was wearing, that traditional gown of a judge, that red color. The advocates were wearing those black and white official gowns. But Gininda, he had his own uniform. So one of the key questions that can be asked is that when Gininda goes to the courtroom at Pretoria High Court, does he wear like that when he is testifying, wearing that uniform that he was wearing yesterday and carrying that rifle? If he wears like that, then surely he can go ahead and wear like that, But if he doesn't wear like that, then it's something difficult now to assess. But maybe, just maybe, Gininda was there in his official working capacity, and he was performing like two duties at the same time, as a brigadier and also as a witness at the same time. Because we do not know, the details of the security team. Maybe Gininda was also requested to be part of the security team because there were so many of those security guys out there. But I've covered, why Gininda had to cover himself up like that. It's because for security reasons. But okay, we understand, he had to cover his face. But what about the issue of the firearm in itself? It's also another one that can be questioned. So these are the questions, that were being asked with regards to what Brigadier Gininda was wearing, the firearm, and the insinuation of him probably intimidating a Moses Ibiya. So if there is one takeaway that we can see is that we saw Judge Rata, at one point, he was cautioning the accused, to say you were intimidating the witness. There was a point, when the accused was where Judge Rata was saying, I saw you pointing fingers at the accused as you were like threatening the witness or something like that. So we can actually see that it's actually possible, for a witness or even an accused to be intimidated, and the judge that actually cautioned the accused over the behavior that they did. So this is something that Judge Rata is actually aware of and is even experienced and is even ruled over in another instance. So in this specific scenario, definitely if Advocate Mnisi takes it up with Judge Rata would obviously take note of that because he has experience with regards to this issue of intimidation. But is Judge Rata going to roll over this one? It's quite tricky, you never know, anything can happen. Anything is very, very possible. But I would want to know, are there any like scenarios, in history, in site visits, where a witness actually had to hide, their entire face in a fashion like that? It's something, to actually look into. And if they do hide their faces, then Gininda can go ahead and do what he did. But if they don't, then it's something to take note of. So this is my review with regards to the so-called intimidation of Gininda towards Moses Ibiya. I'll catch you guys on the next one.